got us all?
This is Pete Feenstra on Sunday the 24th of July, talking to Sonja Kristina and the amazing violinist, Mr. Paul Sachs. Here live at High Voltage. I'm kind of looking amazed because it's the year 2011 and we're talking about curved air.
Yay!
Do you feel kind of amazed by that?
Yes, I am. I'm amazed by it. You know, when we first started doing it in 2008, again, which was after quite a long gap. You know, you just have to think. You know, I wouldn't have thought. You know, when I was 20-something, that when I was like 60-something, well, then I was 50-something, nearly 60-something, then that I would be giving it all that. You know, like.
And you were certainly giving it all that today. On the prog rock stage, I mean, that was the absolute perfect place for the band, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were a very, very good festival band. The band loves a big stage and a big audience, and they can just sort of really make the music fly, which is what festival audiences need.
And was that the focus?
Flying music.
Was that the focus that you kind of went after when the band came back to play festivals?
I like interviewing you.
Yeah. But was that what you did?
I'm interviewing you now.
Yeah, there we are. But festivals, was that what you had in mind? You played the Isle of Wight festival, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the comeback effectively, wasn't it?
Well, it is a good way to play to lots of people all in one place.
Yeah.
Without having to hire the kind of O2.
And what we should tell people who haven't been lucky enough to see the band later, the reason we're talking to Paul as well is, of course, you're filling in for Darryl Wade, superbly so. Young man went to the Hootie Manuin School of Violin Playing and got thrown out at the age of 10. Now that is some rock and roll. He was. And but he learnt his chops.
He was doing such naughty stuff. You were far too young to be doing that naughty stuff.
He learnt his chops, and of course you played together before.
Yes, we.
The acid folk thing you did. What was that? Tell everybody about that.
In 1989, I discovered that there was this new resurgence of acoustic music happening in the Troubadour Club in Earls Court, where I had history because in 1967 I had run a club there on a Wednesday night. This was also on a Wednesday night. It was all terribly serendipitous, and this guy Roddy Harris was running it, and so I started writing material and performing it there, and then I needed to add violin, and I worked with a guy called Julian Jackson, who I stole from Darryl's quartet.
Right.
But then Roddy.
Is he a classical player?
He's a classical player. But then Roddy Harris stole him from me.
Right.
So then I needed to find a replacement really quickly, and then this friend of mine said, "Oh, I've seen this wonderful violin player, and I've got his number." So I called up Paul.
And here he is.
I said, "Do you fancy coming and doing some gigs with me?" And he came down and tried to learn my songs.
Do you think because you became involved in that kind of counterculture, acid folk kind of stuff, and you kept your hand in, so to speak, in all those years, whereas a lot of people from the early 70s who were in rock bands like you stopped or got rich or disappeared or died. Do you think because you kept that connection going that it was so much easier to come back with curved air now? That was a good question.
Well, yeah, I dropped out of music for a little while when my children were kind of going from late childhood in through their teens. Yeah. And also I wanted to be a hands-on mum because with my oldest son, I was away with curved air all the time. Yeah. Poor little thing. You only saw me in the gaps in the tours.
I have to ask you the horrible question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I mean,
my granddaughter's over there.
You were
going to talk to my granddaughter.
I will. But you were a serious star with curved air. They were huge, and of course your partner, Stuart Copeland, and then his career took off. Was that a part in you actually taking time out from music?
No, it was coincidental. That I mean, the curved air broke up. He did his thing. I did my thing.
Of course, he
and
was.
And then he sort of puttered along. We did all the kind of little pub gigs and things like that, and went to America, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, his career took off, and it got much bigger even than curved air. And
which was big enough.
And that was kind of exciting to be
in the world.
Yes, to be there, and and to go out to sort of wives and girlfriends with privileges when we're allowed to go there and have holidays and go to hotels with swimming pools and do all that stuff.
In those days, absolutely.
You know, and go by helicopter to gigs, and you know, all this sort of stuff. So I mean, a rock wife as well as a rock
there we
star.
are. Yeah, I thought I'd bring that one. And taking a quantum jump to now, of course, Paul's in the band. I mean, do you play the same parts that Darryl played, or do you bring your own? Like today, for example, you were really
bits of both.
Yeah, you were fantastic.
I'm a different sort of player.
Yeah. Do you want to explain how you are?
There's the lines that have to be there. They're integral part of the arrangement, and things. But I can find space to be my usual.
Yeah. Vivacious self.
Yeah. Off on one.
Vivacious and Vivaldi. You know. And I must say, when you play Vivaldi today, the crowd went crazy. It was really a great night. It was about 100 degrees when you played as well. You were in the shade.
That's off to Darryl. It's a privilege to be playing it.
And Sonja, when the band reformed, Francis didn't want to be part of it. What was the difference? You said you didn't share the same vision as you had with the band.
We all sort of met together and started planning it.
Yeah.
But he and Darryl, practically from the moment that they split up after Phantasmagoria, they have completely different musical agendas. I mean, Darryl is very precise. You know, he's got the classical route, and he likes to have complete control over what he does. You know, and he's a perfectionist, total perfectionist. Whereas Francis, over the years, I mean, he does do. You know, he does. Respect all the great composers, and he plays, and presumably he plays Bach and the harpsichord recitals. He must play them very precisely. Yeah. But as far as his own music is concerned, he likes to go out there and jam and improvise. And Darryl just doesn't jam. He plays solos, and he takes, you know, he's expressive with his solos. Yeah. But you know, just jamming is his worst nightmare. It's far too chaotic.
But on that point, this is the 5th incarnation of Curved Air, and you have got Paul in the band, and as we saw today in this great performance that you put on today at high voltage, you jammed. I mean, you actually did stretch out. You know, you did stretch out, and I've forgotten the keyboard player's name. I'm so sorry.
Robert Norton.
Robert Norton. I mean, fantastic chops. You know,
Yeah.
And do you find it weird, or are you happy with the fact that, you know, you can go to a festival like this and essentially play prog rock again? Because for many years prog rock was a no-no, and suddenly here we are with a festival where you've got 5 big names playing this festival. They would all be called prog rock.
Well, I think just as punk was the antidote to prog, I think that prog, sort of progressive music, or progressive music, prog, it can be anything. It's a mixture of stuff, but it requires high musicianship. I think it's the antidote to the X Factor generation.
Well, it is now. That's very
but it's proper playing, you know, and even, you know, there's lots of very good bands, you know, with charismatic identities, you know, musically and everything. But you know, you need really, you know, virtuoso playing to be in a band like this.
Absolutely. One final question, because we're running out of time here. You've got a parallel career with Mask. It's relative, of course. So we could carry this on for hours with the camera running. But you're in another project with Marvin Ayres. Marvin with a V, make a note. Called Mask.
Yes.
Which is a kind of ambient kind of thing.
Yeah.
How do you manage to split your time between that? Because you're writing a lot of stuff for that, and Curved Air and the future Curved Air. How are you going to balance that?
Well, when I started, when we got together with Curved Air, it was just after we had finished the second Mask album, Technopia, and I think Marvin and I decided that we would wait before doing the next Mask thing, which we wanted to do really properly. We wanted to be really beautiful, visual, theatrical experience, and we would just he would do some projects of his own, do small recording, small production from other people, and I would, you know, so we're building up our profiles. He's building up his profile, and it kind of cross-pollinates, because he's out doing some interviews for some shows of his own at the moment. Okay. And you know, he talks about the work we do together, and I mentioned it too. So
now, being as we're here at this great rock festival today, the closing question is obviously going to be: have we got any more Curved Air dates in the pipeline?
Yeah, we're in October, and we've got another festival. We're playing Rhythm Festival.
Oh yeah, very good. That's at the end of August.
Yeah, and we're doing, Paul and Robert and I are doing a sort of an evening of more acoustic songs. So we're doing more of the acid folk.
So going back to that, yeah.
And then we might be doing some more. We're going to work on some intimate evening with Sonja Kristina things with music from all through my history.
Third final question. Honestly, it is. You re-recorded Elephant Boy and Melinda.
With Marvin.
Yeah, on Reborn.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that? Was that because you could bring new instrumental, new colours to it that you couldn't previously do because now there's more instrumentation in that? Or was it to do with the arrangements, the production, where you didn't really like the originals?
Well, Daryl was doing his own versions of everything, pretty much, of all his, all his music, and it was also a way of literally revisiting the material for Florian and Daryl and myself to prepare for the tour.
Yeah.
But so Daryl did all those songs in his studio, and Marvin and I, because we were working together anyway.
Yeah.
I played the song with guitar, and then Marvin reinvented with reference to what had gone before.
Right.
He reinvented the songs, so that was, I was very pleased with those as new versions of, which were relevant to relevant
kind of
statement for
updated the
now.
whole thing. Yeah. Anyway, here we are. We've got to go. This has been Pete Feenstra talking to Paul Sachs. It's been an absolute pleasure. It was a fantastic gig, by the way. Everybody, come and see them on the road. Thanks, Sonja. Pleasure having you here.
CurvedAir.com, Facebook, Curved Air, Reverb Nation, Curved Air.
And you can see this on GetReadyToRock.com.
Internet. That's net.